Hey guys, and welcome to your first GPU crisis update of 2022. And although I really do enjoy making these GPU price availability and news update videos for you guys, I sincerely hope that the need for them is going to go away soon for all our sakes. But until then, this is a series where we cover some of the most important topics that are going to affect GPU stock and availability, so that you have a better idea of what your chances are when it comes to buying a GPU this month. So this is the month of January, and we've actually been doing this every month since July. So if you want to see the historical climate of the GPU market, as well as some fun videos mixed in there, I'll definitely leave that full playlist in the video description for you. Go check that out. But this month, we're going to be talking about some topics that could positively or negatively impact GPU pricing and availability, including incredibly impressive but potentially misleading performance benchmarks of Intel's upcoming Arc DG2 GPUs, how Bitcoin and Ethereum pricing has been trending in your favor when it comes to GPU availability, and AIB card shipments increased by 11%, more than 1.2 million units compared to last year. Then we're going to look at how our GPU used market data has reflected last month's crypto news and trends to assess how high demand is and see if this is a month of the GPU. Let me explain. So starting out with our first of three news topics, Intel's upcoming high-performance GPU set to release this quarter using TSMC's 6nm has been benchmarked and is competing with an RTX 3080 Ti? Well, probably not. You see, the benchmark used to get these figures was from Ashes of the Singularity, which I immediately take issue with for two reasons. Reason number one, this benchmark software is known to be disproportionately CPU intensive compared to real-world gaming. And of course, to get these numbers, Intel's 12900K was used, arguably the best CPU on the market for gaming right now. You then couple this with the fact that user-submitted Ashes benchmark results are in no way a good representation of comparative performance, as there's way too many variables. This means that, yes, if you filter the results by CPU and preset use, Intel's upcoming GPU compares extremely well to even a 3090, but also to a 2060. So that kind of tells you how much salt that you should be taking with this information. But this was a big news topic in the PC space recently, and I feel like many people see a headline like Intel's GPU beats 3080 Ti, and they just start to regurgitate that information everywhere. And it's a bit of a problem, because even if you scratch just an inch below the surface and look objectively, the truth starts to become clear. And I still think that Intel's upcoming GPU will be in the neighborhood of about an RTX 3070 in terms of performance. Nevertheless, more players in the GPU space is absolutely a good thing. And the fact that they're using TSMC doesn't necessarily cut into AMD or NVIDIA's Lovelace allocation, so I'm really excited to see how this disrupts the market. So our second news topic is the fact that crypto is trending in your favor, potentially starting the beginning of the end of the GPU shortage. As you guys probably know by now, we do cover the crypto climate in depth later on in this video, including how it's impacted current GPU prices. But it honestly deserves a spot in the news stories too, as both Bitcoin and Ethereum have continued to trend downward since November 8th. Now, the reason why we look at these two coins specifically is because Bitcoin is a good indication of how other coins are doing, and Ethereum pricing is going to have the biggest impact on GPU availability due to mining profitability. And the fact that both coins are holding a downward trend for so long is great news for gamers shopping used or new, and could be the biggest reason to the end of the shortage. So let me show you this downward trend and give you context by answering three simple questions. So question number one is, how does the current price of these coins compare to their peaks? So starting out with Bitcoin, it currently stands at $42,964 exactly. Its peak on November 8th had it at $67,582.60. The difference between those two figures is about $25,000 or 44.5% drop from November 8th to today. And then when we take a look at Ethereum, it currently stands at $3,394.76 with a peak on November 8th at $4,818.97. That is, again, a huge difference between those, and that trend right there is a really, really positive thing for gamers looking to get a GPU. The difference between November 8th and right now is $1,400 roughly, or 34.7%. That is a huge decline, and it's exciting to see that continue. So then the next question is, when was the last time it was this low? Well, for Bitcoin, it was on September 29th, which is right here, at $41,522, which means that it is currently the lowest that it's been in 3 months. And when it comes to Ethereum, the last time that it was this low was on October 2nd, right there. Again, 3 months since it's been this low, which is a fantastic news for gamers. Lastly, what were GPU prices like back then? Because remember, this is a good indication of demand and availability. High prices and high demand means low availability, and low prices and low demand means high availability. Fortunately, we already have this information. It's kind of what we do in this series. Back in October's GPU update, we saw that TechSpot recorded an average sale price of an RTX 3090 at $2,863, RTX 3080 at $1,637, RTX 3070 at $1,180, and RTX 3060 Ti at $866. And at time of recording that video, we saw in TerraPeak that an RTX 3080 had a 7-day average sale price of $1,692.80 on eBay. So then, the bonus question that this has been leading to is, what are GPU prices like now compared to then? And of course, we're going to answer that question in a bit when we take a look at our used market data. So our last of 3 news topics is the fact that analyst firm John Petty Research have reported add-in board partner shipments increased by over 1.2 million units in Q3 21. The research goes on to explain that although this is actually about 6% lower quarter to quarter compared to the 10-year average, there has still been 25.7% more GPU shipments compared to the previous year, which does make sense as businesses are getting used to the new normal. This does leave many people wondering where all these GPUs are actually going, because the Discord groups and stock drop apps that I've been a part of show no obvious indication of any increased stock. In fact, looking at the drop frequency, it looks like there's less stock overall, with the US retailers like Best Buy and Newegg have been releasing stock. So I'll leave it up to you to either shout foul play or give them the benefit of the doubt given global logistics issues. But news topics aren't the only source of information, and sometimes they aren't even the most important when it comes to the here and now. So you're going to want to know what the markets have been doing and how they've been reacting in real time, and what your chances are when it comes to buying a GPU this month. So it's time to take a look at our crypto and used market data, as these will directly impact your ability to buy a GPU. Because remember, if GPUs become less valuable to mine on, they'll become easier to source, both used and new from official retailers, because of lower competition. So let's take a look at that now. So let's start by taking a look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum pricing has been doing over the past month. As always, I do trade crypto, which I do think is important if I'm going to talk to you guys about it, but this is in no way financial advice. However, if you did want to get into crypto yourself, there are links in the video description to the exchanges I use, as well as recommended hardware wallets down there, so go check that out. So starting with Bitcoin, as we know, it is on that 3-month downward trend that I showed you earlier, so I'm not going to be on this for too long, but I do want to see how much it's actually taken a hit this month. Started at $50,556.90, now on $42,964. What's that? Roughly $7,600 lost? That is a pretty significant amount, 15% lost in a month. It did try to recover a bit, apparently for the holidays, and then just dipped right back down. In terms of Ethereum, something similar. Started off at $4,353.39, now currently sat at $3,394.76. That's a drop of 22.02%. Again, for some reason, it tried to recover for the holidays, it was in the Christmas spirit, and then just fell off the edge of the earth. So the hypothesis is, as Bitcoin and Ethereum pricing go down, so do the value of GPUs and the interest in GPUs from the mining community, as they become a less profitable asset to mine off. And we will take a look at that now, but there may be an abnormal impact due to the holidays. So let's take a look and see if our used market data reflects this. So you guys know this by now, but what we do is take a look at TechSpot's data. They release the average sale price of the 3rd week in a given month, and this is average price in December on eBay. So what we do is we take this data and we implement it into our running spreadsheet right here, where we have the prices of an RTX 3090, 3080, 3070 and 3060 Ti with their prices on the right-hand side. And that's overlaid with Bitcoin and Ethereum right here with their pricing on the left-hand side. And what we can typically see is as Bitcoin and Ethereum pricing go up, so do the prices of GPU on the used market. As I mentioned, they become a more valuable asset, so they're worth more to people buying them. But typically what we see is there's about a month delay for the GPU used market data to react to the crypto data. As proven here, there's peaks and then the used market reacts to that. And then again, there's peaks, used market reacts to that. And this month has actually been a bit of an odd month. As you can see here, an RTX 3090 dropped quite heavily, an RTX 3080 increased quite heavily, an RTX 3070 dropped, and an RTX 3060 Ti increased a very small amount. And the reason why we might see an anomaly like this is because potentially RTX 3080 3060 Ti were more often bought as presents for other people given the holiday, and that's why we might see odd anomalies like this. So going back to our question in news topic number 2, given the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been at their lowest point since early October, what are GPU prices like right now compared to early October? Now, this would have been reported in October's GPU crisis update, which would have been September's data right here. Now, as you can see, an RTX 3090 is actually slightly more expensive now than it was back then, but basically a wash. RTX 3080 is a similar story. And although the 3070 did decrease right here to there, the RTX 3060 Ti has increased too. So they basically cancelled one another out. But it is worth remembering, as I said before, the holidays would have impacted December's data right here, but likely would not impact September's data. So another way to look at it is it's a similar price, but in a worse situation. So it's actually a better place to be. So now it's time in the video to take a look at a live GPU used market data to see how it's reflected last month's crypto news and trends, and also how it's reflecting this graph given the holidays as well. So let's take a look at that now. So this is Terapeak, eBay's market research tool for their platform. And what we've been doing is querying an RTX 3080 right here and having a look at how much they've been selling for given 90 days, 30 days, 7 days. And we've been recording that and comparing to last month every single month. So this month, an RTX 3080 over the last 90 days has been sold for $1,791.77. Last month, it was sat at $1,743.43. That is an increase of $50, which isn't a good sign. But as we get chronologically closer to where we are today, it becomes a lot more relevant. So here's fingers crossed. RTX 3080 last 30 days was $1,792.73. Now currently sat at $1,835.74. What's that? An increase of about $40-ish, which is, again, not a good sign, but it's getting lower than the last 90 days. And then the most relevant, the last 7 days, how much is an RTX 3080 being sold for on average? Previously, it was $1,873.90, and we have $1,854.06. So it is going down, and it would be really interesting to see where that lands next month, because at the moment it's only $20 lower. It's pretty much inconsequential when you're spending that amount of money, but the trend of it going down is exciting. And I want to see that drop significantly lower next month. 2 million in sales in 7 days. That's just stupid. So the last thing that we do when it comes to our used market data is we actually take a look right now, how much is an RTX 3080 being sold for on eBay? The lowest price plus shipping. We'll do buy now, filter right here. And we see if it's increase in price compared to last month or decrease in price compared to last month to give us a good indication of where the market is trending. So if we take this card right here, the cheapest card on eBay, RTX 3080, and double check that it's not a scammy listing. Yep, this actually looks like a pretty legitimate listing. 6,052 rating. So we're going to take this as our legitimate listing. So last month was an RTX 3080 was $1,499 plus $1,584 shipping. So that is a decrease of about $85 given the difference in shipping, which is not inconsequential. And the fact that everything seems to be going down this month is just, this is such good news for gamers, because if it continues to go like this, you may legitimately be able to buy the GPU that you've been after without having to battle tooth, fist, hammer, sword, because you may be able to buy the GPU you want at a time frame that you want. You could just buy it. Imagine that. It's been years. Wow. So to summarize this month's GPU crisis update, and I actually feel like it's a really, really positive month, but I do understand that it's a lot of information that could be much more digestible. So here it is. Apparently GPU shipments are significantly up, and if there was some sort of delay in stock because of global logistics, this could be fantastic news, especially as it really could coincide with the launch of Intel's Arc GPU. So more stock of the card that you're after, plus a new player in the game. This means that even if you don't want an Intel GPU, somebody else probably does, and the less people to compete with for the card that you really want. Which means that the last variable is the price of crypto and mining profitability, because if that goes through the roof, mining groups are going to grab everything. It doesn't really matter what it is. Well, there's more good news here too. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been on a 2-month decline, and if that continues to trend as such, by the time Intel releases their GPU, our prayers may legitimately be answered. So keep up to date with me over the next few months. It's going to be really exciting. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out some other videos on the channel. I'm going to drop some recents in the video description and the comment section for you guys. And get subscribed, turn on notifications to make sure that you don't miss future TechLens content. Otherwise guys, a like is always appreciated. I'll see you soon.